Hello, Jiu Jitsu fans. It's Alex here, and this is the first time I'm going live for an interview. So we're, going through some technical difficulties, but I think Kiaya Jackson is going to be joining us soon if she's not already in here. Let's see. Lakeisha, do we have Kiaya on? Okay, so let's go to a 2 screen. I'm not hearing anything from her. Yo, what's up, Kiaya? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, so I can't hear her. I can't hear her. Okay, don't want that. Hello, Kai, you there?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, all right. We're just going to go with the AirPods today.
Okay, let's do it.
Yay. All right. Well, first of all, Kiaya, thank you so much for being my first ever live YouTube interview. I'm super excited it gets to be you because I've been following your career quite a bit. I've worked with Matt Scaff for some different jiu-jitsu breakdowns. So I just want to know, where did it all start with you? Were you an athlete before you started your combat sports career? And where did Kiaya come to be this prime elite combat jiu-jitsu athlete?
Well, I definitely, I kind of was an athlete in high school, but it's just like, I wasn't that great at any of the sports that I played. Like I like to train. I like to be out with friends. I like sports. I was super competitive, but I was not that great at any of it. And so, after high school, I stopped playing sports. I played a little flag football, ended up like messing my knee up, had surgery. And then I decided that, all right, once I'm like back after surgery, I'm going to get into some sports. I'm going to get into the gym. And so I just got into the gym. I started working out a bunch. And then eventually, while I was in Alabama on like an engineering internship, I found jujitsu. And that was like, oh, okay, I really like this thing. So I'm going to stop that and I'm going to stop everything else and do this one thing.
Wow. So was the first gym that you found Planet Decatur?
Actually, while I was in college, I found a gym that was kind of nearby the school. But I wanted to strike at first. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna start striking and figure this thing out. But eventually I ended up leaving and just not really taking a lot of classes. And so I left and coming to Alabama for the internship, I found jujitsu or 10 Planet Muscle Shows. And I was like, oh, okay, I like this environment a lot more. I'm like starting to fall in love with jujitsu. They didn't even have a striking course. And so I was just like, all right, I'm just going to do jujitsu from now on and see how it goes.
And do they still not have striking? Because I feel like a lot of people train for MMA at that gym as well, unless there's like a different sister or brother gym that they work on there.
Yeah, so that first gym was 10 Planet Muscle Shows, and they still don't have striking. But here at 10 Planet Decatur, we have a striking class, and then we also cross train at Ironclad Wrestling, and they have a striking curriculum going on there too.
Ooh, I love it because you're obviously not only combat jujitsu. Combat jujitsu was kind of just something that you did after your MMA debut. So, what is like the big priority for you? Like, are you still focused on jujitsu and really committing to that, and you kind of just take MMA fights to challenge yourself, or is your ultimate goal to be the best MMA fighter that you could be?
Well, that was one thing I've been like trying to figure out, and so taking that first fight was the first step in figuring out, all right, do I really want to commit all of my time to being like the best MMA fighter, or if I want to stick to my route in jiu-jitsu. And I absolutely love jiu-jitsu. I love doing combat jiu-jitsu, and I've pretty much just decided to see where it goes with MMA. I'm still really fresh and green in that side of things. And so I'm going to dedicate a lot of time to like improving my striking and mastering the seams of the game. So mixing in the wrestling with the jiu-jitsu and stuff. But my ultimate goal right now, at least for the next year, is to really hop into some big jiu-jitsu competitions.
Interesting. So when it comes to the debut that you had, what were the biggest takeaways that you had from that fight?
My biggest takeaway was just the sense of urgency, like being able to champion getting back to my feet. That was my biggest problem. Is I was every time I got taken down, I stayed on the bottom a little bit long, like too long. It's only a 3-minute round because it's amateur rounds, and I didn't like have that sense of urgency of getting up. Like I needed to just be explosive, be an athlete, and just get up no matter what. But instead, I was trying to like be technical and swim for an underhook and get into dogfight. So that was a big thing. And I think the other thing was just being able to master the seams. Like I think my opponent did a really good job of mixing in the striking with the wrestling. So every time I was like focused on just striking, she'd go switch to wrestling. And it was like, okay, that's something that I'm super green in, and I need to definitely like put in some hours studying that and just working on that part of the game too.
Well, I love your approach to that. And I love how an athlete like yourself still struggles with the sense of urgency problem. Because I DM'd you when I was about to have a competition myself, and I get stuck sometimes in mount or inside control, and I need to move quickly out of it. So
Mhm.
what are you and then I get down on myself. I feel defeated. I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna get out of this. So like, how are you training to have that sense of urgency? Like, what are the first steps to bettering that?
It starts in the training. Well, first it starts with the mental side of things. Is like, because I've done jujitsu, only strictly jujitsu for the last 6 years, I'm a little bit too comfortable with just being on my back. And so in training now, because I've decided, all right, now I will not be put on my back. In training now, I'm thinking about that. All right, my goal for this training session is to not let my back hit the mat. I have to like really champion getting up. And if I'm taken down, back needs to come off the mat immediately. I need to be, creating scrambles and moving immediately. And so that's what I'm thinking about when I'm training, and I'm training that all the time now.
I love that. And it definitely helps when you have some athleticism to it. I remember when I was watching the qualifiers at HQ, and you're going against other athletic girls too, but I'm just saying the way you like wrestle with people and change your levels and do all the cool shit, I'm like, okay, you're very athletic. So what would you say is the biggest and strongest part of your game? Like, is it using that athleticism, or do you really rely on like all technical stuff?
I I don't think I was saying this to Matt Scav not too long ago. I don't think I capitalize on my athleticism as much as I should. Like I don't take advantage of that as much as I should. I've Because I am like strong and stuff, I always feel bad in training when I'm just like trying to like muscle through women or muscle through smaller guys and stuff like that. And I've really just like, been gung ho on just making sure that my technique is pure, and then adding in the athleticism at the end, like, for competition. But one thing I learned, that if you don't train like that, if you don't train to use your attributes completely, then you won't compete like that. And so as of lately, I've been trying to be more athletic in my training sessions to just, use all of my attributes in my training sessions.
Interesting. I love that. And you're still so young. You could put on weight and put on muscle, or you could, continue cutting. What is your game plan when it comes to MMA? What do you feel comfortable competing at? And then is it the same for jujitsu?
The game plan is pretty much the same for jiu-jitsu and MMA. I'm like the perfect weight, and I float in between the 125 and the 115 class. Like I walk around normally at 125. I know it probably doesn't
How
look
tall
like
are
it.
you?
I'm 5'2". That's probably why I look
Oh, you're
like
5'2"?
I'm
I did
tiny.
not know that. No
I'm just
way.
tiny. Yeah, I'm tiny. But I float in between those two weight classes, so it's super easy for me to just pick one, especially when my diet is just super duper clean. I can just pick one. Like for this combat jiu-jitsu, I woke up at 125.8, like that the morning of, so there was like no weight cut process really.
Wow, dude, the same thing happened with Alandria when I didn't know her. I don't know why, I just like assume all of you guys are like 5'6" or like a little bit taller than me. But oh my God, I'm gonna like stand next to you. You're gonna be like my height, or I think I'm like 5'4". I literally thought you were like 5'6" or 5'8". That's so
No, you're
mind-blowing.
definitely taller than me.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So that's awesome. I mean, you got to meet a bunch of um just awesome people at Combat Jiu Jitsu. Alandra was telling me that like the vibes compared to like an MMA fight are so much different because like, you say hi to your opponents. It's not like hostile or that you have to like get into a cage with them or anything. So when you think back to all of the Medusas that you've done, what has been your favorite part about those tournaments?
Definitely just meeting all of the other competitors. Like she said, man, it's always a good vibe before, after, whatever. I know we get out there and we like smack each other in the face and stuff like that, but beforehand, everybody's all hanging out. We're like talking and stuff. Even after, like some of my like roughest match, like we hung out the entire night after that. Like that's probably the best part, is that you get to meet all of these badass women and y'all all there for the same reason. And it's just like there's no tension. There's just, we're here to do the thing. We're professionals about it. And then once we're done, we go hang out. We get to, party and do whatever we need to do.
I love that. And get to do it in Cancun. You can't have many complaints about that. I did want to talk about how you have one of the, I feel like, best coaches that you could have in 10th Planet. Obviously, Matt Scaff, high up there, but I feel like BMAC has like such a big following because he's doing so much with social media and Facebook and just the way he's able to explain things. So, what is your favorite part about being coached by BMAC?
Yeah, so he was the first person to really like see potential in me. So when I was training at 10 Planet Muscle Shows, he was like, "Hey, what do you want?" I was a white belt at the time, and he was just like, "Hey, what do you want to do with this thing?" And I was just like, "I don't know. I think it's kind of cool." He was like, "I think you can be really good at it if you like, really apply yourself." And so I would go down to his gym, or I guess come up to his gym on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and just the level of instruction was just completely different. The attention to detail, the just his knowledge that he has, man, I feel like it's unmatched. He's like one of the best coaches out there. He really studies the game, and he can be really nuanced when he's explaining different techniques and stuff. And so once I got a hold of that, I was just like, oh, okay, there's a level of instruction, there's a level of competition, like there's levels to all parts of this game. And now that I have access to somebody who's like so focused on being the best coach, then I'm going to take advantage of that. Now that I have access, I'm going to take advantage of it.
I love that, and he obviously see this on the screen. Some persuasion when you let him.
It kind of muted your mic there whenever you played it.
Oh, when I play the video, I was like,
Yeah.
so is there a lot of persuasion that you have to do to let him be slapped, or like is he just like down for it all the time? Just slap BMAC.
Oh no, that was all his idea. I kind of felt bad about it a little bit. He was like, "No, you're fine. Just like do it right. Like I want you to be able to feel like what this feels like." And I felt bad. I was like, "You sure?" And so we did it a bunch of times. That was all his idea. I don't like that. But
I love that, and I know that there's so many different just relationships that happen. We have Gabby Garcia and Craig Jones, and then so I need the fans to know, like, when is the wedding, and when did it become official between you two? Because that's just a power couple right there.
Oh yeah, Travis. When Travis first came to the gym, he became my guy. That like we're super close. He's like my best friend in the gym, or my best training partner. We work exclusively we work with Matt Scaff with like hitting pads and just work privately with him. And he was like, "All right, we're gonna get married," and that just became a running joke. And it's like whenever I marry Travis, he's gonna quit training. Like he came to the gym to just be my guy. And whenever I decide to marry him, he's gonna quit training. And so I was like, oh yeah, 20 years from now we can get married. Like it's fine. And so every once in a while, whenever he does something I don't like, I'm like, it's 25 years now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just keep pushing it back, pushing it back. But it does go to show that like it is really good to have that one person that you know will help you train certain things. So that's why, yeah, I saw that clip and I was like, oh, that's adorable. Like having your gym buddy. I love that.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Okay. So for this last segment, we are gonna do something called Name That Fighter, and it's just like a few questions, and the first fighter that comes to mind, or a coach, depending on the question, you're just gonna say who you think it is.
Okay.
All right. So name that fighter that you connected with immediately at Combat Jiu Jitsu.
Ooh, immediately. I think Maddie Wade was the first person I like connected with immediately. We had already talked, but like immediately when I saw her, I was like, all right, cool, what's up? And then we just kind of hung out. We went and got lunch and stuff before we connected immediately.
Nice. And you guys didn't have to face off, did you?
No, she was like a super fight.
Oh, yes. Oh, Maddie Wade. Okay. And she was against the blonde girl.
Yeah, Hannah Goldie.
Hannah Goldie, yes, that was a good one. It was nice because I think she didn't make the qualifiers or whatever, but got a special match. So it's just like nice. It's nice to see Eddie Bravo hooking it up and giving people opportunities. All right, always. So name that fighter that you did not want to face in the first round of CJJ this past weekend.
Oh man, I had two. So it was Alex and Fatima. I was just like, all right, the first round, I need to like blow out my lungs. I need to get it together, and I need to be 100% for those two. And so I was like, Fatima or Alex, I just don't want them in the first round. I don't care if it's the second, just not the first.
So did you know coming in about their background, and like what was it about their games that you were like, okay, you know, you don't want that as the first rounder?
Yeah, so with Alex, I've faced Alex before, and I know that she's pretty good everywhere. Like she was gonna be the toughest test that I had. I already knew that going in. And then with Fatima, I knew that she had really good striking and that she was super aggressive. And that my first round, I really like to like blow my lungs out and just get used to moving. And so I feel better in the later rounds when I've like cleared all the nerves and all that stuff out, and I can work better in second, third rounds.
I definitely feel that. That first round is always rough.
Yeah.
All right. Name that fighter that you think has the best rubber guard. Can be boy or girl.
Best rubber guard, definitely Derek Rayfield. We're just talking in the realm of Combat Jiu Jitsu this weekend. Definitely Derek Rayfield. That was the first thing I thought about.
Yes, he was my standout. And it didn't have to just be Combat Jiu Jitsu, but yeah, he was my standout. And then at the team duel, when I like saw everything that Ben Eddie could do, I was like, damn, like that makes me want to be so much more flexible.
Of course, yeah. Ben Eddie is amazing.
Right? I'm so happy for him. He's having a baby soon. So exciting. Aww. All right. Name that fighter so name the fighter that you feel has the best pressure. And this can be for jiu-jitsu only.
Best pressure. Honestly, the best pressure that I've ever felt comes from BMAC. It's insane. It's insane.
I can see that. And he's like not that big of a guy, but I guess he just knows how to use his body in that way.
Yeah, and I know he has some weight on me, but I hear bigger guys that are way bigger than him talk about his pressure, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's not just me. I'm not just a small person. Yeah.
I love that. All right. So this one, we're getting things a little spicy. Name that fighter that you have ever or currently do have beef with.
Beef with? Man, I don't have beef with anybody, but they did try to play the nemesis card with me and Bree, even though like we were sitting right next to each other. Like, you know, I guess that's as close as I got.
I love it. I know that Kiaya, in the future for your career, you might have to get on that mic and start, spitting those promos, those pro wrestling promos, calling people out.
Listen, I'll start calling people out. I'm with you. I'm ready.
I love it. But honestly, I think the a Bree-Kiaya rivalry is good just because like so much technique can go into it. And honestly, I was so surprised when Bree got taken out. Yasmin Martinez,
yes,
fighter of the night for me. Even though she was in, she was fighter of the night for me.
Yo, she was tough. Yeah, she was really tough. And she put on a show though. Respect. That was me. We hung out right after that. Me and her, we just hung out right after that.
I love that. And she probably knows a little bit about it because I think she is Mexican, right?
Mm-hmm.
Love that. All right. And then last but not least, the fighter in your gym that sweats way too much.
We got a couple. Kevin Primo. We call him the Liquid Terminator. He
Oh my
sweats
God.
a lot. And Travis Thomas, he definitely sweats way too much. I guess I just went back to 25 years.
Yeah, you guys aren't that wedding is really going to have a lot of built up to it. I see a couple of comments from some fans. Kiaya seems the most mentally prepared for the competition. She was serene all the time. Yeah, so I'm very curious. Were you always able to like keep a calm face while doing things, or is that something that you were able to gain through experience?
It definitely came through experience. Like I said, playing sports in high school, I wasn't that great at any of them. So it was just like, I used to have like super weird like anxieties around like competing and stuff like that. Even my first jiu-jitsu competition, I was like, super nervous and it was all over my face. But once my coach Chris told me, he was like, yeah, at the end of the day, this doesn't really matter. And I thought I started to think like that. And then I just super stoic at all times.
I like it. No, that's definitely the way to do it, because if you are breathing and thinking through problems, then you can think about the next move versus like stressing about what is currently happening. So I love that. Gave a shout out to Yasmin Martinez. She definitely did put on quite a show this past weekend at Medusa Combat Jiu Jitsu. So Kiaya, I'm gonna let you go after this, but tell us what you're up to, what is in the future for you, and if you want to give any shout outs to any sponsors you have, the floor is yours.
Okay. Well, in the future here, so I'm gonna take this month or the month of April off to just kind of, recomp and work on some other goals. But in the future, I'm planning to, take some fights in May or take a fight in May. I have a Proven Ground Invitational early May. I think it's like May 6th. And then after that, I'm looking to take an MMA fight. And I'm trying to hop into some of these bigger competitions. I'm going to do trials, try to do Nogi Worlds, and just, keep it moving from there. I also do want to take the time to shout out all my sponsors. Kevin Primo at Primo Heroes. He's a man. I know I just called him out for sweating and stuff, but he is a man. He is a man. Kirk Netherton and Tohold. I really appreciate you guys helping me get to Mexico and put on the show. It's just greatly appreciated. I also want to take the time out to shout out my coaches because they are amazing. Matt Scaff, Lindsay McCaffrey, Brandon McCaffrey. I really appreciate you guys.
Love it. Well, thank you so much, Kiaya. We cannot wait to see everything that you do in the future. And since you're taking time off, and if you're ever because I see you have a nice setup there. So, if you're ever down to give your analysis on some of these jiu-jitsu events that happen, I don't know if like a long-term goal of yours is to be like BMAC on the commentary booth, but you have the voice for it. You have the eyes. Oh, P.S. Where do you get the green eyes from? Your eyes are gorgeous.
I eat a lot of vegetables. No, I'm joking. No, my grandma, thank you, by the way. My grandma had green eyes. My grandpa had green eyes. And my mom was the only child of 7 to get green eyes. And she passed them to both my brother and I.
Wow, because that's usually it's like skips a generation, like the recessive genes will, but that's awesome. Yes, beautiful eyes, great voice, and obviously knows all your shit about combat sports. So I would love to have you on as a guest or an analyzer in the future. So thank you so much, Kiaya, and we cannot wait to see everything that you do. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, great interview with Kiaya. I guess here we just end it. All right. Thank you so much, Kiaya. I'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
Bye.